Hey guys, Marshall Kirby from Orchard Hill Farm Equipment. Today we're going to be going over the CK20 series and all of the safety sensors on it. So if you guys are picking up a new machine, specifically a CK2620, CK3520, and CK4020, and that also includes the SE models, cab and non-cab versions, they all are going to have a select amount of safety switches and safety components on them that will not allow you to start your tractor. So if you go home, start using your tractor, and one of your safety sensors gets tripped somehow, you go to start your tractor back up, you're simply not going to get your engine to turn over. It's going to be really, really frustrating, and yeah, ultimately a very simple fix. So we're going to talk about what those fixes are today, where the safety sensors are located on specifically the CK2620 open station, but this really is going to apply to all the models. Hopefully this helps a few of you out in the beginner ownership of one of these machines. So we're going to dive in here and just go over what these are. On the CK20 series, I like to call it a L is where the location is. Basically your left leg when you're sitting on the machine. So your first safety sensor is going to be your clutch. Even if you have a hydrostatic, you're still going to have a safety sensor on that clutch. Your second one is going to be your low, medium, and high selector. And your third one is your PTO. And then last but not least, your fourth is the seat sensor. So we're going to talk about these individually and what they might do. So basically, the first one being your clutch down by your foot here. That is basically a PTO safety clutch engagement, and also acts as an engagement for the engine to turn on. So if everything's in neutral every which way, right, and we go to turn our key, you will not get anything until we put our foot on that clutch. So it's a safety mechanism to tell the machine that there is physically a human on this machine. Pretty standard protocol. This one is not commonly overridden. It's something that usually comes on every machine and is just the way it is. Now, low, medium, and high selector. That is one that, again, you have to put it in neutral every time you want to start this machine up. If it is left in medium, let's just say we push our clutch in, you won't get anything until we stick it back to neutral, push our clutch in, the machine will fire up again. So that's those two. And last but not least, here on the side of our leg, we have a PTO selector. So oftentimes this can get caught on a jacket and engaged, or let's just say we're cutting grass for hours on end. You get an important phone call. You just go and react and turn your machine off, which is completely normal, and you leave your PTO lever on. You go to start up your machine, you're going to come over to the dash here, and you're going to see the yellow light lighting up on the dash that shows that your PTO is still stuck on. I don't know if you can quite see that, but that is your PTO is on engagement. So if you see that light, simply message your PTO, get it back to neutral, and you'll be good to go again. And again, if it's engaged, we do everything right. We get nothing. We put our PTO off. The machine will start up. So I'm going to point out a couple of those safety sensors. They're quite hard to see. They're really small, but they are important to know where they are. So one of them is located right here. That's the PTO one. And if there's a stick jammed in there, and again, if you want to see it be engaged, see how it moves? That little spring kind of like rubber is moving. So that would be engaged and then off. So if there's a stick lodged in there, it's going to engage it. So sometimes you might think you're in neutral on all these. Look at the safety sensors. Maybe you're not. Maybe a stick is stuck in there or something came unplugged or something. There's a selector for the transmission right here with some electronics going to it. That is one of the safety sensors. And then the other one is on the clutch underneath the floorboard, or I guess the linkage to the clutch and whatnot, or the PTO clutch underneath there. Let's talk about the seat sensor next. We're going to actually come around to this side to talk about that because it is mostly on this side of the machine. So the seat sensor is probably the number one most annoying thing on this machine when you get home and first start using it, because what happens is as you're riding around on the tractor, oftentimes you're getting on and off the machine, and when you go to get off the machine, your tractor shuts off. So really, really annoying. The way around that is you have to set your parking brake, push down on the parking brake lever and pedal, lock it, and put it in neutral. So lock that parking brake in, select your selector to neutral, and now you can keep the machine running and get off. But let's be real, most people are not doing that every single time they're on and off their machine. So if you're not, the seat safety sensor is down here, and I'm sure some people are overriding this to eliminate this. Now, this is a safety feature to prevent you from getting hurt, so please just do this at your own risk if you do override this. But this safety sensor is there for a reason. In case you're mowing grass, you fall off, the tractor stops and turns off, and the cutter stops, and you can't get run over and cut. All those types of things. Seat sensor. Common things with it. This seat sensor plug is down there, but it goes and wires itself into the back of the seat and actually is located right underneath this seat bottom underneath here. And when it rains out, these seats collect a little water and it drips right down under and goes, lo and behold, and pools near your seat safety sensor. Not the biggest deal in the world. They last in quite well in the elements, honestly, and from rain and different stuff. But when there is rain mixed with cold air, we get ice. If that ever freezes up solid, you have a little ice block seat safety sensor underneath your seat. And your tractor will not start occasionally from that because it can't sense properly. So options are A, don't keep it outside. B, eliminate the ice under there. And it sounds kind of crazy, but you literally just need to give it a couple punches under there, break up that ice, and oftentimes you're good as new. So quick, simple little fix. Those are the seat safety sensors. So essentially make an L again, your left leg, where your feet are, where your left foot is going, your low, medium, and high, your PTO, and then right under your butt on the seat for your seat safety sensor. So that's kind of what we got going on. The only other main things that are, I guess, not super common, but can prevent the tractor from starting, a bad key switch. We don't see many of those, at least right away. It takes many, many years of being out in the cold and water and elements to go bad. But key switch, some other few little things that we see over here are, there are some main fuses up here. Once in a while, one of these will pop from doing something you shouldn't have been doing. And these two 60 amp fuses, if they go bad, you're generally not going to be able to start your machine. Other than that, you know, common fueling issues, bad battery, kind of the normal stuff. One other thing, I guess that would be very common on these machines to look out for is, I guess, battery terminal tightness, make sure they're tight, and also the belt tension on this belt. If this belt is not tight, which they do tend to come loose over time, not only on this model, just in general on tractors, those alternator belts can kind of come loose over time, and they will surprise you and cause some weird electrical stuff, not allowing you to start it, draining your battery. It's a bunch of weird stuff. But those are a few common things that I think would be valuable for new owners of a CK20 series to learn about, understand about these machines. Overall, these machines are insanely reliable. Mind you, these seat safety sensors, the PTO sensor, all that stuff is, we're talking like super, super cheap parts. So if one of these fails or goes bad, don't think about it like I'm going to have to buy this new computer and spend thousands of dollars. I mean, we're talking 50, 60, 80 bucks, little parts here and there. And quite honestly, they don't go bad often, but they get triggered often. And if you don't know what's triggering them, aka a stick or your coat caught the lever, you'll be really annoyed as to why your tractor won't start. But at the end of the day, it could be as simple as a 1-second fix and you'll be back up and running. So if your tractor is turning over engine-wise, physically turning over and not starting, that is not usually going to indicate anything of a safety sensor. So you pretty much eliminate that from your head if your tractor is firing and turning over. Generally, then we're talking about some other type of issue. Oftentimes fueling is common there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, this is Marshall from Orchard Hill Farm Equipment, and we'll continue doing these videos and give you more information on some other series and their safety sensors as well. Thank you.